Hello, welcome to the To Be Human podcast, a new podcast I'm starting that will only be a monthly podcast, but still, it's an important podcast nonetheless. It's just, I already have our podcast, which, talks about basically everything else, every other topic that I want to cover, where it's talking about games, shows I watched, or just generally things I'm interested in. But this one is more on the challenges of life and you know the deep serious questions of life. And so yeah and I'm in lethal company just because well, I do these wherever I want to do them, so that there's no really deeper meaning to it, except potentially in the second episode, maybe I'll try and tie in Lethal Company somehow. But for this first one, it's just a pilot episode to, set the stage for everything that will come in the future episodes and just, start the ball rolling. So yeah, this is only going to be monthly. One, because, with me already doing the Our podcast, if I was to do this more frequently, I think it kind of lose the point of this one being technically more important. So having it monthly means I do it frequently enough, that's, at a frequent interval, but not so frequently that loses importance and I start to run out of ideas quickly, like with our podcast, because if you don't know, it's very hard to continually come up with ideas on a weekly basis. So this format should, work a lot better, for the To Be Human one. So yeah. But I guess I should start off with, some basic things for today's episode. Just some, non-specific topics, I can go into more specific things in future episodes if, people ask, or, want me to talk about something in specific. But this will just be a general episode to, start the ball running, and yeah, and hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully the series will be good, and hopefully it'll help at least someone, because I guess that's, the point in the end of it all, as long as it helps someone, save one life, you save the world, as the saying goes. Yeah. So, yeah. Humanity. Let's still start with humanity in general. Humanity. Complex, beautiful as it is vile. There's both beauty and absolute horror in humanity. People can be the best of the best or the worst of the worst. I think, I try to be good, but, there's always, flaws to people, despite as best as I try, like, I can contradict myself. Yeah, again, I know that I'm a very contradictory person, as I've pointed out, as I'm optimistic, but also realistic and pessimistic all at the same time. Like, I am very contradictory as a person. Like, like my randomness sometimes can't be explained. It's just who I am. Oh, Mr. Beast hands. I forget when you get close to a wall it does this. It looks like the Mr. Beast pose. From the meme. Like, Mr. Beast and then the hands. I can't do it with that wall. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a very contradictory person because, yeah, again, I'm kinda in the middle of things, like, yeah, again, I self-reflect a lot and know that, inside of me is a part of me that's, vile and, disgusting technically, but, I also realize that part of me shares the same fears as me, like, no matter how different, that part of me is to, the me I want to be, and try to present as, like, that me, still shares my fears, like, they don't want to die, they, probably don't want to be, alone fully, like, despite as vile as a person may seem, you never really know what's deep beneath the surface until you actually explore. Like, you never really know, like, if I was in Iron Lung, another similar game to, Lethal Company, I think, that deeper meaning, would work a lot better, but I'm in Lethal Company and there's no really going deep in this game, although potentially in the future, maybe it's already happened in an update by the time this video comes out, I don't know, but yeah, it seemed like in early versions of the game that you would be going deep down to collect the scrap, like you would use an elevator and go deep down, basically seemingly like deep dives in, Deep Rock Galactic, because, there's the main thing, and then there's the deep dives being, higher risk, but, also higher reward. So, yeah. I feel like Lethal Company will bring that back, and that same thing will be here. I mean, Lethal Company and Deep Rock Galactic kinda share some similarities. There's obviously differences, but yeah. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, diving deep into, my own thoughts, makes me realize despite, I do have that part of me that, will be violent, angry, and aggressive. It shares the same fears as me. Like, it is me in the end of the day. So maybe those angry, vile people out there actually are just, crying for help. Just they lost their ways, and it's very hard to break through to them. Like, takes a lot of time, effort, and patience to try and, break through to them. And a lot of people wouldn't put in the time and effort to try and be kind to, mean-spirited people, because it's often not worth it to, most people, who put in that much time into a person. But if we all, tried to do that, maybe then there would actually be more kindness. Like, I know a story, that I overheard, from my dad, where, I forget if it was a coworker or not, but that there was this lady that was, very, angry and aggressive and, not friendly all the time, but nonetheless, my dad, always said good morning, in a good and happy way to her, and eventually, after long enough, she actually did, have, kind of a smile on her face. So, yeah, even if it takes a really long time to break through to someone who seems aggressive, vile, and mean, eventually you can break through. Eventually, eventually a glimmer of kindness will show. So, in reality, those, hundreds of, good mornings, took days and days and days and days, probably a year of just saying, 2 words to a person that most people would just be like, I'm not going to interact with this person or interact with this person, as few times as possible, some people will never try because they don't see a point in it when there is a point, because if you really try, eventually they might just, show some kindness, it isn't a lot, but, over time, hopefully, the walls will wear down more and more over time. So, sure, it took, potentially, a year for even a small amount of change, but, change takes time sometimes, so despite, everything, the persistence, paid off, the walls cracked down a little bit, and given, more time, people, will take down their guard, even more time, because, eventually, it wears down slowly over time, eventually erodes away to show what's really actually under the surface. So yeah, so yeah, even when someone does seem like they're a bad and vile person, maybe try and, see if you can try and, break through to them. It takes a lot of time, but try, Humanity can be good or bad. It's just up to choice. Humanity is complex. And yeah, again, I have my own story that I've mentioned multiple times during, the To Be Human, the proper videos, not, the podcast thing, this is just a pilot, but the case with that guy on VR chat, where, even though I only got to gleam a little bit in, I still, got past their wall of anger to actually understand a little bit of why they are always angry, because they always assume the worst. So they didn't want to deal, with any negativity, even if they reacted poorly, it still, was their way of, shutting out anything that could be a problem. So yeah, you always can break through to people, but take, a year or a day. For me, it was a day, so, yeah, again, I just met the guy, so to break through, in a matter of, minutes to start to see behind the cracks, I guess in a way is, just proof that, you can do it, it took a lot longer, for, my dad to, get through to, break through, the wall, with their coworker, but with that one guy that I randomly met on VR chat, it only took, mad minutes, Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast. Progress and time, aren't always the same thing. Sure, you can technically do a lot in time, but is it making any progress to any goal? Me walking around this room, is technically wasting time, but is it wasting progress? Who knows? I hope, it makes a difference, at least in a small way. But, you never know. Progress and time aren't the same thing, That's kind of a quote, I forget which mod it was from. I think it was a mod, but I saw it on one of Jolly Wanker's videos, where it was very fitting to what he was dealing with, sometimes he can spend hours at a time on a thing but make no progress. So yeah, time and progress aren't the same, But yeah, humanity is complex, but you can, try and help, Try and talk to the people that seem angry or aggressive or, generally, not the most likable people, but, under the surface there may be more to it, because, me and my dad are just proof that, time, whether it's a small amount of time or a large amount, can, make a, even just a small difference to crack into why. I honestly don't know what happened to, that VR chat guy, Yeah, again, it was just a random person, again, on VR chat, so they probably will still be the same and potentially never get the help they need, which is sad, but I guess that's just life. As for the coworker, for my dad, I don't know, because, I know part of the story, but probably not the whole story, so yeah. But yeah, humanity is complex, and, it can be vile and beautiful, It's both things at once, And I'm just trying to, help people, do my best, try and make a difference, even if it doesn't really do anything. Hopefully, eventually things will get better, but I don't know. One wish I wish would happen is I wish the big influencers, and YouTubers, streamers, whatever, big people, on TikTok, whatever, those people that are popular would talk about stuff like this more. I wish, they would, step up, because ultimately, the popular people, anyone, who's popular or well known, have the most influence. It's always, that way, Humanity will choose its leaders, for many different reasons, And all I wish for is that, more of them stepped up and did the right thing. That there's plenty of people, who are, trying at least, people, who give to charity or whatever, At least some people are actually trying, like Jacksepticeye, Ethan, some people are, at least are trying, although I still wish they would, potentially do the same, but at least they're trying, At least they try. So, I can't fault them entirely for trying. Just, I wish they could do more, I mean, they certainly do a lot, but, maybe just once in a while having, a actual real in-depth chat, I wish, the actual, big people, may notice something like this and actually do something, actually speak out, because, I think it could make a world of difference if it started to become a trend, because, you know, ultimately, what are they going to search for? A lot of them, the trends. And if this becomes, a trend, where some, do it in a fake way or not, it still technically makes a difference. Whether some are, genuine or not, Once it becomes a trend, the pool will keep rolling, And that's all I hope for. Like, I can use, that one thing, they chase for, trends, as, the biggest weapon to the arsenal to, actually make a good and positive change, Because sure, some will be fake, and the fake ones will be immediately, discovered, once once the trend, if the trend does ever start, like, if they don't keep, doing, frequent, chats about these sort of things, actual serious real life topics, it just shows that they were in it for the trend, not for, the actual right reasons. Where, others stick to it, it shows, they were never in it for, the trend, It'll actually show, who is potentially the good ones, and, who's, potentially only doing it for a trend. But who knows if a trend like actually being genuine and honest will, actually properly start, because so far I'm not really seeing it anywhere, it's rare, which is, I guess, why, I'm starting the To Be Human podcast. Even if it's just a monthly thing, I think, doing this once a month, every month, for as long as I possibly can, hopefully will make a difference, I'm really hoping, I can, continue to do this, because, yeah, again, I'm job searching, I'm, I need a way to earn money. At, time of recording, I'm still, at 300 subs, so I'm not, 500. I'm getting closer, but, that's the first, basically, milestone I'll need to hit to earn any money from YouTube, plus the 3,000 watch hours, which is a lot. Then there's Twitch, with Twitch affiliate, and it's really hard to get 3 consecutive viewers. So yeah, currently, at time of recording this, I don't earn a dime. I need a job. Eventually, my job will technically, take priority over, doing, the, videos and stuff, And I really hope it doesn't affect certain series like this, like, because, you know, I want this to be a monthly thing. I don't want, you know, to stop doing this because, I want, to do this long enough that makes an actual difference and not be stopped by real life. Literally, real life, may potentially stop me, from doing the right thing. The complications of the real world, are literal problem to, doing something meaningful, like the complications, of the world, are actively, impeding, the progress of, some of these things. Like, even, like, getting a real job, jeopardizes, me doing this series, like, because, unless I get, popular enough to, earn, a significant, amount of, money from this, I will need an actual, job, actual real life job that I get paid for, and that means, they're getting, potentially, several days a week, multiple days a week, to do, the job, which means, less time for streams, less time for making videos, less time for, stuff I really want to do, like the To Be Human, podcast that could potentially make a difference if it goes on long enough, because hopefully the snowball effect, starts to set in, and, hopefully it can make a difference, it'll take potentially a long time, but, I'm willing to put in the effort, but, one thing that jeopardizes, that is a job, surprisingly, like, or not surprisingly, I don't know, but, nonetheless, whether it's, surprising or not, I have to, if I want to make a difference, I have to, commit, but, real life jeopardizes it. Goddamn, real life is being, the ultimate enemy of change. The worries of, the life in, the 21st century, god damn, it's kind of annoying, like, that something simple as getting a job could jeopardize what I'm doing here. That is so annoying, So yeah, I mean, someone who actually, is potentially sticking to this a long time, longer than potentially I would, someone who's actually already popular, if they were to start something like this and, get the ball rolling, hopefully, it would actually make a difference, I can't be here forever, maintain this, where, job affects it, where not, eventually that doesn't matter because eventually, I'll grow old and die. Sad reality, meaningful change snuffed out by the hands of time. But also, by the hands of time, new meaningful things can begin. So, time is both, a curse and a blessing. I guess that's, a lot of reality, People, can be good or bad. Reality can be beautiful or it can be chaotic and horrible. There's always balance in the world, It's, endless, an endless cycle until humanity is gone, and even if, humanity's gone, what about, potentially, aliens out there, other intelligent life? What about, the potentiality of the multiverse, things beyond human comprehension, but still they may, follow similar ideas. Sure, it may be in altered ways beyond technically comprehension, but nonetheless, I think, certain core ideas will exist no matter what and no matter where. There will always be kindness in some form, whether it's called, kindness or not. And there'll always be cruelty and, suffering and, there'll always be good and bad somewhere, even if, what we see, as, good and evil, may be different. What if, in a different society, punching is seen as, punching another person is seen as a sign of friendship. I mean, some people already do that potentially already in humanity. But usually it's more like friendly punches, usually not a punch. So I'm more talking about, like a punch. But nonetheless, what we see as negatives could be, positive for another race, in, an alien race, killing others could be seen as a sign of honor and valor, despite as crazy as that seems to, us. That's how that race operates. Obviously, there'd probably be, things to prevent, people going on, mass killing sprees, like maybe killing one person, is, every now and then is honorable, but if you, do basically, you know, genocide basically, you know, that's not seen honorably, because I don't see how that could be seen honorably in any place, but who knows? Maybe somewhere, despite as insane as it is, you know, maybe somewhere, you know, that's the norm. I don't think, you know, a race that, you know, kills itself off by basically killing all of itself off, you know, is exactly, you know, a species that's going to live a long time, but, you know, it could happen. Infinite possibilities. You never know. You never know. But, yeah, yeah. Reality is just, you know, and humanity and everything is complex. You know, it takes a long time for change. And sometimes time can be the ultimate ally and enemy. And, yeah, you know, yeah. There's a lot of complexity to it, you know. A lot of stuff to it, you know. Yeah. And despite, you know, as bad as some people may seem, you know, there may be, you know, kindness and good in them, and yeah. So always try to be kind and pleasant, and just be the best you, and maybe also a challenge for you always to actually, you know, talk out about these things, you know. That's if you want to. I'm not forcing you to, but, you know, I want the snowball effect to begin, you know. And hopefully eventually, you know, people who are more popular and who have more influence start doing it, which then, you know, high up the chain people start noticing, and then they do it, and it keeps, you know, going up and up and up until, you know, everyone's doing it. And if they don't stay committed, it just shows that, you know, they wanted to do it for the trend and not for the point, you know, to actually make a meaningful difference. Those who try to, you know, continue to bear the torch actually show that they're genuine and that their purpose is true. And yeah. And hopefully I can always, you know, commit to this. Hopefully, you know, I at least am able to do a few of these to, you know, start the ball running. I mean, I always do things in pairs of two, because I'm going to literally be recording episode 2 right after this, so, you know, I'm already going to be recording the next month's one today, just to, you know, make certain I have at least 2, you know. That's my way of at least trying, you know. Even if it's just 2, it's at least a start, you know. Obviously I want to do hopefully way more and potentially do it for, you know, years, but, you know, life is unexpected, you know, a job could jeopardize that. And after all, you know, despite as dark as a reality as this is, I could be dead tomorrow, you know. Hopefully not. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve. I don't want to be dead on Christmas. So, yeah. but yeah, yeah. Just do your best and, try and, do IRs. I feel like if the snowball starts going, it could actually make a huge difference, If people actually, you know, tried to do something like this, talking about, serious topics, more people did it, it could actually make a world of difference, But I don't know. Who knows? Either way, I think that's enough for this one. I think I've covered, the general gist of what I want, from the series. Like, I want this series to, make a difference. I want it to be frequent enough, that makes a difference, but not too frequent. Otherwise, I'll burn out of ideas too fast, and that'll be a problem. I mean, another monthly series that I'm doing is Confinement, trying to keep that alive after, Lord Bung left, and that is challenging to come up with new ideas that are faithful to the original style, but also, mixing in my own style to it, because I can't, perfectly replicate it, and, some of the things are unfortunately probably gone forever from it. But at least I'm trying to keep the spirit alive. And hey, others are, keeping the spirit of confinement alive. Some people start on like some comic strip that looks just like the thing, and I wish them the best, as another, person that's trying, to keep the spirit of, confinement alive. I wish them the best wishes with the comic strip, and hope that it goes on for a long time, and hopefully I can actually see some of it and like read it at some point. Although I'm not the biggest person on reading, but nonetheless I hope to see at some point. There'll probably be like some YouTube video where they narrate over it, like try and do have people voice for it. People will do that sort of thing. So hopefully I see one of those videos. That way confinement still exists in a way, even if it's a bit different. Like a comic is different from a show, and my version is different from the original. It's not animated, it's done in Gmod, but nonetheless we're both me, I'm trying to keep it alive, they're trying to keep it alive, in our own ways, so yeah, anyway, back to what I'm saying, but yeah, I could be, dead tomorrow, despite, bad reality, and like, I want this ball, start rolling, and hopefully, this series will be impactful, and and hopefully I can at least, do some of it, and despite, even it may be hard to come up with ideas for a monthly series, I'll keep trying to think of ideas and try and, do things, and and hopefully I'll potentially have guests on at some point, because, I don't always want to do this alone. So yeah, maybe Sky will join me, I don't know. Another person who may join is Dude on my viewers, because it seems like, great minds think alike, as he commented, he had an idea for, a podcast talking about more serious subjects, and it's like, wait a second, I had this same idea, I was just keeping it secret while, working on, the To Be Human videos, the recent ones, because I think I had the idea and revelation during the To Be Human trilogy remaster video, yeah. Because since I decided to schedule on New Year's Day, I was like, New Year's Day, people always have New Year's resolutions, to try and, do something in the next year, that they may have not done anyway. And mine was the To Be Human podcast, which we're here now. So yeah, this is actually the reason why I'm doing this, is because it was, New Year's resolution, trying to do something new. And obviously I want to do it more than just in, 1 year, because I don't think that'll be enough. I really want to do more, but, real life could, yet again screw me over. It's annoying, but I guess that's life. But yeah, nonetheless, I'll try and persist through this no matter what. And yeah, I'll try and do this as long as possible, because I want to commit, but life, I can kind of get in the way. Hopefully I should, if I'm right, I should be able to do 3 and 4 so quite easily before anything major comes up, like, a job or, university. Like, hopefully, potentially I can do those 2 episodes as well, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see, if I do get to them or not. But yeah, this series hopefully can make an impact, please, try and, spread word, because I want this to be, a trend, because, it'll basically be a way to trick, the people who aren't genuine into helping, the people who would have helped, but since it's a trend, they'll do it, they'll do it, I'm trying to use, trends against, my fellow creators, you know. I guess that, you know, technically makes me, you know, kind of a villain or an anti-hero in this case. You know, not quite the hero. I mean, you know, I'm trying to, you know, achieve the right thing, but I'm gonna use whatever I can in my arsenal to, you know, make certain, you know, it spreads, you know, basically, you know, trying to do this like Plague Inc. and trying to, you know, make certain it spreads to everywhere, especially Greenland. You know if you ever played Plague Inc. You don't know if you don't know. And another harder one is the Caribbean. It is usually Greenland that's the one that's more annoying of the two. You know, at least Caribbean is right, you know, next to, you know, USA, you know, so, you know, it's a bit more convenient. But yeah, where Greenland's a bit more self-isolated. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. I think that'll do it for the first episode. Hopefully that's enough for a pilot episode to, you know, show the purpose of this, and, you know, hopefully it can help and, you know, start to spread, because, you know, if, you know, it makes a difference, you know, that'll be good, you know. So yeah, either way, yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and peace until next time.